The Pink Pulpits Podcast, the gospel according to her. The Pink Pulpits Podcast explores the living, learning, and leading of women in the 21st century. How does the modern woman handle the world the gospel way? This podcast is for women in ministry, women surrounded by ministry, and so many more. Join us weekly on Saturdays at 6 p.m. for the Pink Pulpits Podcast, the gospel according to her.
Ready?
Mm-hmm. You keeping time?
Mm-hmm. All right, 3, 2, 1.
Hey everybody, this is the Pink Pulpit Podcast, and I'm Lady Nicole Green, your host. Remember, this is a platform for those of you that are believing God. Why am I going to believe in God? What am I talking about? I'm sorry, dear. That messes you up, don't it?
No, don't.
No, okay. Okay, I got to go back and find the Pink Pulpit thingamajig. You gave me notes.
Oh,
That's right.
For women, by women.
Yeah, see, I ain't done it for so long. I don't even know what. Pink.
Did I text that to you?
Yeah, you did. Yeah, I got it right here. Okay. No. Hey everybody, this is Lady Nicole Green, and welcome to the Pink Pulpit Podcast. My prayer is that you are either driving in your car listening, you may be in your front room, you may be in your office, but you are ready to have a real conversation because this is the gospel according to her. This is a platform of, life's gospel for women. And I know I got some men listening to some guys that say, hey, I really have been enjoying these conversations. But I want you to know, no matter what your ministry, no matter what your pulpit of life is, whether it's in the marketplace or an actual pulpit in the church, that this is a podcast where you will hear from real women in real ministry with real things that matter. And I believe conversations that will propel and change your life and your ministry and the marketplace. And so I want you to sit back, relax, get your pen, maybe your paper, get you something to drink on, and let's have a conversation that I believe will help you finish this season of your life in a greater way. That's right. We're going to be finishing a new season in a greater way. Today, we're going to be talking about the power to dominate. You may know that I do a conference called No More Silly Women. And man, we just came out of this great conversation, this great time of domination. And what I want you to know is that we were given the information because the tools are already available to us. God has already given us the tools to dominate every area of our lives, right? But sometimes life, things can happen, and it can push us or sway us out of the space where we're not dominating what God has given us to subdue and dominate. That's what it says in Genesis 1:26, that he was telling us, the Adams, to subdue and dominate. And today I want to have a real conversation about the power that God has given you, each one of us. And it's not about pushing others down, but about stepping into the authority God designed for us to have. Standing firm and moving with confidence, boldness, the tenacity to not waver or to be swayed, and knowing that you're backed by the word of God. You're backed by the promises of God. You are backed by the knowledge that you know who goes before you and that you've been equipped to dominate whatever stands in your way. And every area of your life is subject to you. Everything that tries to crop up in your life is subject to you. Even if it was a trauma. I know that is like this buzzword everybody's talking about, that I've been through trauma or something of trauma has happened to me. And what I want you to know is that you have the power to dominate. Can we just really talk today and really have a really real conversation? Wherever you are, after the conference, I really felt like there was this echo or this clarion call that was established in the earth, because it was already in the heavenlies. So it was established in the earth that we have been too lax. We have been too callous in our approach to this thing called life, and that we have allowed things to get away from us and allowed our lives to just be versus us really dominating and subduing. So I told you, Genesis 1:26 says, then God said, let us make man in our image and after our likeness, and let them have dominion. Now remember, I'm talking about the power of dominion, right? The authority is the foundation of our power to dominate. And God himself gave us dominion. When Jesus leaves the earth, he says, greater will you be able to do. The power that I had to do things in the earth, I now share it with you. You have a shared power that the same God that spoke, the same God that calls things to be not as though they are, the same God that made the world happen is the power that lies with you. You were created with power, with authority, and with the ability to take charge of your environment, to take charge of your mind, to take charge of every situation, and even the things that come against us. You may be dealing with something right now, and you think that there's no way this thing could change or you could come out of it. And I want you to take this conversation to heart today, that I am coming as your faith coach and your coach to tell you it is time for you to use the power to dominate situations, your environment, your mind, and everything that's trying to come up against you. I believe we often wait for power to show up when we already have it. You're waiting for something to happen. You're waiting for this big thing to commence, and the power already is in you. The question is whether we can dominate. It's whether we believe we can. Okay, I just messed myself up, so let me say it again. It's not, the question isn't whether can you dominate. The question is, will you have enough faith and believe in the power to dominate? God said it, and if God said it, it is so. That you hear me say it all the time. If God said it, it is so. And this isn't just any power, it's the supernatural authority. It is a supernatural power available to man, whereby man can transact supernatural business and make things happen in the natural realm that you have been given dominion over. You were designed to bring order into the lives of yourself, the people around you, and this earth. So I need you today to step in it. I'm going to give you the steps so that you can step in the power to dominate. So one is that domination demands action, not just intention, but action. You cannot just intend to dominate. You got to make a decision that I'm going to dominate by doing something. Put that on your notes, put that in your iPad. You got to dominate by doing something. James 2:17 says it this way: faith by itself is not accompanied by action, is dead. If it's not accompanied by action, it's dead. You can believe, but if you're not doing anything, if you're not deliberately doing something, then it falls flat. It produces nothing. It yields nothing. Faith is action. Faith must take action. And faith is an action that you need to use in dominating. Faith isn't passive, it's active. You can't dominate sitting down or waiting on the sidelines. When we believe, our actions have to follow. And if we believe God has given us dominion, the power to dominate, we show up differently. We show up stronger, we show up bolder, and we show up certain. We show up with this kind of cannot be denied, that I will not shrink back, that I am going to have it. It's like going on out on the football field. When football players go out, they're not going out thinking they're going to win. They go out with this mindset, I am going to win. I am going to defeat my enemy. I am going to defeat, and the enemy is the opposite team, right? I am going to defeat what is in front of me. And that's what I'm telling you today. You got
Enjoying the Pink Pulpits podcast? Be sure to like and follow us on Spotify at Pink Pulpits Podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube at Pink Pulpits Podcast. Like and save our website at pinkpulpits.org and get our amazing No More Silly Women app to get all updates on the Pink Pulpits podcast. And remember, it's the gospel according to her.
And took action. He didn't have a backup plan or a different way he was going to do it. He made really clear, I'm getting ready to defeat this uncircumcised Philistine. You remember that? He went in with full assurance, with confidence, and this boldness that God had given him the power to dominate. He moved because his faith was alive and active. Domination demands action. You have to take action. So what can you do right now to step in the power in your life to dominate it? What is something, and I want you to think about it, what's one thing that I can do right now today? Okay, are you thinking? Let me tell you one thing that I know for sure. You can start speaking with authority. You can start speaking to whatever it is, the circumstance, the situation. Open up your mouth and speak. I want you to speak against it. I want you to speak what you want. I want you to speak what you demand and what the word says about your situation. Calling those things that are not as though they are. And then I want you to move beyond speaking and then take specific faith-filled action. That's it. Number 2 is I want you to take faith-filled action. Step beyond speaking and now be specific. Is there an area in your life where you've been too passive? You kind of allow things to just be. I want you to step out, make the call, take the first step, and your faith will move God. Your faith will move the circumstances, but your faith shows him that you believe. And then when you do that, immediately things start happening. God is giving you power, so use it. And the world is waiting for us. The world is demanding for us to move. The world is saying to us, if you are not going to do it, then we're going to make you bow down to us. And that's what you got to defeat. We're in this world. You hear me say it, but you're not of it. Stop acting like this world has dominion over you and you have dominion over it. Are you ready for the next thing? Domination defies the odds. Domination defies the odds. I don't care what has happened to everybody else. I don't care if everybody else's conclusion did not end in a great outcome. Domination defies the odds. It looks at the statistics, it looks at the circumstances and say, whatever, I don't care. It doesn't matter. It means nothing to me. I'm going to defy what statistics say. I'm going to defy what the doctor said. I'm going to defy what the lawyer said. I'm going to defy what the banker said. I don't even look at the odds because the odds mean nothing to me. Domination defies them. Domination goes beyond them. Domination says, in spite of, I'm still going to do it. Even if it looks like I'm still going to do it. Even if everybody else has not, I'm still going to do it. Domination defies. And I think it reminds me of the story of Elijah when he's standing there with the prophets of Baal. And I mean, we're talking about 450 against one. And he's saying to himself, my God is getting ready to show you who he is. And I mean, and he's talking big stuff. He's watering oversaturating the altar to the degree that there's going to be no way anyone can say that there was nothing but the power of God that made this happen. I mean, he's talking big stuff. I mean, he's talking with such confidence that I believe some of the prophets of Baal were sitting there like, maybe we need to be scared. And that's what domination tells the situation. I dare you to think you're going to defeat me. I dare you to think you're getting ready to come against me. I double dare you. And what I want you to understand, watch this, is that's what domination does. In the midst of the prophets of Baal, Elijah is saying that my God is the biggest God. My God is the greatest God. My God is better than y'all. All of y'all put together don't have anything to compare to my God. That's domination. You defy the situation and says, I don't care what happened to Ray and Muketa and Bushetta. I don't care how bad their situation was. I am going to defeat this thing. I'm going to win no matter what. I am going to defy the odds. I'm going to be a new statistic. I'm going to be a new brand. I'm going to be the new. I'm going to be the one that conquered. I'm going to be the one that made it happen. And it defies the odds. Then last is domination decides there is no other outcome. Domination decides there is no other outcome. The only way this thing ends is victorious for me. I need you to rest in that just for 1 second. There is no other outcome, but you win. And if you can see nothing but the win, then you'll have nothing but the win. But if you go back and forth, seeing a loss or seeing defeat or seeing that you aren't going to make it, then you already set yourself up not to make it. Domination makes a decision. I cannot fall. I cannot faint. I cannot not win. It decides there is no other outcome. There is no other way this ends but God and me being victorious. I want you to understand that domination has a position of the only outcome is I win. I make the decision before I even start. I see myself at the finish line. I see myself having conquered. I see myself well. I see myself prosperous. I see my business going to a whole nother level. I see myself doing it. I need you to really hear me today, because it's kind of like Abraham when he's sitting there with Isaac and God says, go and put him on the altar, sacrificing. And Abraham, after 25 years of understanding how to live faith on a whole nother level, he decided that I'm getting ready to dominate in faith in this moment. He says, hey, y'all, I'm getting ready to go do what God said. I'm going to sacrifice, but me and the boy, we will be back. Now, what he was saying is, I'm deciding there is no other outcome. God would not have given me this boy and decide to kill him all at the same time. I know that if God gave him to me, that God has already promised me that I'm going to be the father of nations, that even if he got to raise him up from the dead, that's what he's going to do. I don't know how we going to do it. I don't know the possibility of how it can get done. My responsibility is to dominate this situation and decide there is no other outcome. So Abraham says, me and this boy, we coming back. And so today, I want you to decide, I have the power to dominate. I am getting ready to decide there is no other outcome. I'm getting ready to defy the odds. I'm getting ready to declare in the atmosphere. And I'm getting ready to make things happen that may not, eyes haven't seen it, ears haven't heard it, but I'm getting ready to make it happen. It may not have entered into anybody else's heart, but I'm going to make it happen because I have the power to dominate. Today, make a decision. Today, defy the odds. Today, declare and move past declaring to actually faith-filled action and use the power that was given to you and have the power to dominate. Don't you back up. Don't you back off. And don't you lower your expectations. Whatever you're believing for, believe it with all your might and know that the word is backing you and the same power that made all of this is the same power working on the inside of you. So today, have the power. Use it. The power to dominate. I'll see you next time. Remember, we're here every Saturday at 6 p.m. Great conversations, great interviews. This is the gospel according to her. This is real women in real ministry. Whatever pulpit of life you're in, whether it's the marketplace or the pulpit, we are establishing a new culture and a new gospel according to her. I'll see you next time on the Pink Pulpit. And I can't wait to have another conversation with you. Join me in the pulpit again on Saturday.
Tune in next week for the Pink Pulpits Podcast, the gospel according to her. Be sure to like, follow, share, and subscribe to this amazing weekly podcast with your host, Lady Nicole Green. That's right, the Pink Pulpits Podcast, the gospel according to her.